Hi everyone, I'm Elsa O Brien, a teacher and inclusion coordinator at the British Council in Spain. As teachers, we have probably all heard of the idea that the environment is the third teacher and how we should use our environment to support and enhance our teaching. So here are my top tips. Tip number 1 is using classroom walls and displays. I like to make sure that I use the walls in my classroom to support my pupils' learning. This means that the relevant vocabulary charts, structures, ideas for further resources, etc. are up and visible, and all students can refer to them when and if needed. So, for example, for a primary class working on the topic of the future, we can add vocabulary to speak about it, as well as grammar structures, will, might, and would. For a secondary class working on essays, we can have a toolkit including linking words, hedging language, and topic-specific vocabulary. I ask my pupils to work on the displays and add to them as we progress through the topic, as this is an additional opportunity for exposure and to reinforce language acquisition. I like to include what a good one looks like models from other classes or from previous years, as this helps children learn from each other too. And it's also really motivating for pupils to see their work on display as an example of good work. But be careful not to overclutter or leave displays for too long. I like to keep a section that is relevant to learning, and why not let our students take home those that we don't need anymore at the end of the term. Tip number 2 is using the other spaces around the school, such as corridors, the playground, the library, and even the floor. My students and I love moving around and adding a bit of excitement to our tasks by working in different places. This helps minimize restlessness, and some activities can be easily turned into motivating games like races or treasure hunts. Asking students to go and find pieces of sentences or a text at the end of the corridor or in the patio offers our pupils a really effective brain break and makes the most of the space we have available. When I have big classes, it's handy to have students work in groups and take turns to move around. Maybe children can complete shared writing activities as well by writing these on large pieces of paper on corridor walls. This keeps collaboration going and focus, as well as it serves as a brain break. Flip chart paper is a great investment for this. Allowing these less conventional postures for working can help to compensate for the effort that students might already be making to keep focused or to remember instructions and information. Tip number 3 is using our corners. All of our classes have children and young people with different skills and interests and abilities. This diversity means that we have to plan the right level of challenge and support for all. We can do this through continuous provision. Although it's probably a more popular concept in early years teaching, it can be easily applied to other stages. It's about having ready-to-do activities that students are already familiar with so that they can work on when they're done with their main task, or if they feel that they need or want additional practice or revision on a theme. By consistently providing our learners with additional challenges and alternative tasks, we are making sure they get the additional exposure to the language or content, as well as supporting them if they need it. By building in agency or choice for them, we also encourage more self-awareness about their learning, and I find that they are more motivated to do these tasks as well. Dedicating a specific corner in the classroom to this purpose means that they can also be used as timeout corners in the case of a sensory overload, or for those students who are working on regulating their emotions. In a language classroom, continuous provision might be around access to phonics practice activities, vocabulary matching cards, and word ordering games. In a science classroom, this might be setting up a follow-up experiment to test or confirm results, updating observation charts, or reading additional texts related to the science topic. In a history class, we could also revise key knowledge and concepts through map and historical event matching games or timelines. All of these should, of course, include both names and pictures to reinforce language acquisition. Something I find very useful is bringing books in from the library to my continuous provision corner and making sure that my pupils always have access to a selection of decodable books to support their literacy skills and topic books to develop and extend their knowledge. For teachers who don't have a lot of space in their classrooms, Corners could be set up in trolleys or trays that we can easily move around. Walls, corridors, the playground, our library and our corners. Which of these places and strategies for supporting and challenging are you already using, and which ones would you like to try next?